What's up, guys? All right. Injuries. Armstead will be out this week. Samson is questionable. Go ahead.
A couple of your players indicated that this was a little bit of a tougher week than normal and week long. Have you found that at all, or what do you think that's about?
It's definitely tougher on the practice field. We were in Denver like a little bit over a month ago, and you feel the altitude there, but being at Air Force is 2,000 feet higher, and it's a big difference. I just walked up these stairs, so so that's the biggest challenge. Everything else, anytime you get off your routine, it takes a little bit longer to get to practice. So we're on the same routine all the time, and that's why we all think it's Friday right now. But yeah, that gets off, but that's not. I don't consider that a challenge. I consider that things not being perfect, but it's all about the practice field, and that was a challenge. But that's what Monday's going to be.
Is there any sense that the players got a little bit more acclimated to it as the practices went on, the week went on?
I don't know. That's what science says. And we had our biggest practice on Thursday. I think that's where they really felt it. Wednesday's not quite as much, and today's not quite as much. But Thursday, which was Friday to the rest of the world, they really felt it then, and that was the first time they're like, "Oh, this is pretty real."
Is there any concern about having that Thursday practice on artificial surface? How was that surface for you guys?
I thought it was fine. I think anytime, we don't have an indoor. We don't really need one, except like once every 3 years. Anytime you don't go on turf a lot, then people talk about it being different, but that's why I think about it a lot. But places I've been, you go a lot. We used to do it all the time in Houston. I talked to Anthony Lynn. He's like, "Kyle, why would you avoid going out on the turf? We practiced on turf every single day in Buffalo when I was there." So then you kind of, all right, it's not ideal, but it's not the end of the world. So we made it through it, and I'm happy we did it now.
For you guys, overall, the state of the team's health is probably the best it's been all season. Is that a concern just with the elements here and the turf?
No, I'm sure if someone got hurt on the turf, that would have been the case. I think everyone would rather be on a nice soft grass, but most of the places I've been at this time of year, there isn't soft grass. We're fortunate to have that in California, I think, but no, the health didn't have to do with coming here. This had to do with our lungs and oxygen intake and elevation.
A few years ago, the game next to they had to move it because the field was not in shape. It looked like it was in good shape. The pictures I saw there. Do you get through the week updates on things like that? Is that even a conversation for something like this?
No, I think some people might, but that doesn't really change what we're going to do. I can say that's why we went out on not the best field our first Wednesday, which I think was Thursday. But you deal with whatever when it comes. You've had times where you get to a field and rain wasn't expected, and all of a sudden it's there. When we went to Green Bay and knew we were going to play in 10-degree weather or whatever that wind chill was, and it's not like I kept the guys out in 10 degrees all week to get them used to it. You have a 3.5 hour football game, and that's all it's about. When you get there, you're ready for whatever, just like you are whatever a team presents to you schematically, or if you lose a guy in the first play, you're ready to adjust all the time, and weather and field conditions is always just a part of that.
I assume it's logistics, but why don't you just go directly to Mexico City to
Great question. I heard Air Force has really good facilities. I heard they had everything that could accommodate us. Talked to New England coaches and Chargers coaches. They said that. We flew our guys down here to check all of that. They thought it was pretty nice. I've been here. I think it's pretty nice. Didn't have the same connections in Mexico City. Alfredo didn't know the people, so it's harder to trust.
He was talking yesterday about Brandon Aiyuk, and he was talking about his long legs and how that makes him unique. And that he's not quite 6 foot tall. You don't think of somebody that stature having long legs. But do you see the same thing? Did that jump out to you scouting Aiyuk for that 2020 draft?
Not at all. Maybe his legs are long, but I noticed that his arms are the longest arms, because he's not the tallest guy. I don't know what his height is. I guess 6'1". But with his arm, see, with his arms, he looks like 6'6". So I see it based off of arms. If he had real long legs, I feel like he'd be taller than 5'11". So, but maybe Jimmy scouted him differently than I did.
He was saying the other day just about how to get the consistency that you constantly were telling him that you have to be consistent every day in what you do, and then it becomes just kind of second nature. When do you kind of see that with him, in terms of getting to that point where he can now string games together?
I saw that in the middle of last year. The way he started he always tried to go 100% on game day. And it wasn't anything about like him being lazy or anything. It was him thinking that's what was right. And then you get to game day and you got to get rotated a lot more and things like that. And, just telling him how you're a young guy, like going hard on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, that's not going to make you slower on Sunday. As you get older and stuff, you got to make adjustments to people. They can't always do that, but and he started doing that a lot more. And I felt like he really started to feel better during games. And I think that's what he got at the end of last season. And what was so cool about that is he believed it because he went through it. And that's why we raved about him so much when he came to this offseason. He came into OTAs in the best shape I had seen him in. And he left great. And then he came back to training camp in the best shape. So now sometimes when he's a little sore, he might be tight and you want to risk something. He's in the spot where he can take it a little easier. You can be smarter with him because he has that foundation. He has that stamina to where he's built to go. And to me, that's how most of the great ones are. So they can be at their fullest every play, and they don't have to have 2 plays on, 3 plays off.
Some of his teammates have said, especially here recently, he's had some practices where he's putting 4 or 5 kind of highlight reel catches out there. Do you even take notes of that? I know you're trying to get through a practice and get to the next play, but has it jumped out to you here recently even more so?
He did it in camp too, so it depends on what type of practice we're having. But just back to Matt's question, BA, no matter how he's moving, like those arms stick out, and I think those are the highlight catches people talk about. He's got length on him, and he's one of the guys on our team. Everyone's got that opportunity, but even when BA's covered, he's got a pretty good percentage of coming up with that ball.
You got Charter more back at practice today, so.
What's that?
You got Charter moving more back at practice today. How's he doing then? Do you have any temptation just to assign him on the guy, another one receiver that can?
Yeah, you do, but then where does that receiver move to, and when is it not man? And now how many reps does he have at a hook drop, a curl drop, things like that? And so then every time you move with the guy, then they know it's 100% man. So sometimes that's not really what you want to do, at least unless you have to, especially when we mix in so much zone coverage. So we try to cover people by committee.